this is from British Parts Northwest, not a sponsor. Well, I for sure use them as a sponsor. And anyway, let's see here. Let's see what we got. But I will make the video and back this up so you'll see what happened and why. All right, let's get this out. Okay, let me sort through all this. I'll be back for all the stuff that you saw previously. This took quite a while because I didn't use Moss and I didn't use other places because British Parts Northwest, although it takes longer and it's harder to get in their boxes, they seem to have it going on a little bit better. Let me get this thing open. They seem to have a better understanding of things. So here we go. I wasn't going to do this, but I got free shipping if I got this. So that is a Lucas TRW casting of a new brake master cylinder. Now, anything before, not anything, but most things before 1968 or 7 were single cylinder, like this 1964. This ain't the time to be cheap, okay? So that thing was 80 bucks. I think I got the receipt right here. So 80 bucks, yeah, 80.99. And I decided, because the wheel cylinders were blown, to go ahead and just get some new shoes. Now, I did not get springs or hardware for the cylinders because I've done this before on this car, and I just don't feel like I put enough miles on it to warrant all that other extra expense. So let's get that in there. Okay, so there's the new shoes. Popping these new shoes. Okay. And but this is the interesting part of this. These are made in Italy. And these are an upgrade. Now, British Parts told me this, and I believe it. The originals are 0.75 bore. These are 0.875 bore. So these are slightly larger. So they should respond a little bit more slowly, I think. Because the larger the bore, I don't want to get into that Corvette. Tried to tell him, how come it stopped so hard? That's because you didn't change the master cylinder after I told you to. So anyway, we won't go into that anymore. Oh, and there's a boot. Where'd the boot kit go? Did I lose the boot kit? I actually don't care if it's not here. But I don't think it is here. I'll be danged. Did they stick it down in here? I did kind of want the rubber boots. That would be what I would call a consumable thing. Okay, it's not down in there, so I guess they forgot, but I'm not going to bug them about that. Did they stick it down in there? No, but there is something else down in there. Oh, it's the how-to. Now, some people don't bleed. I've seen a couple of guys say don't bench bleed. I see no harm in it, and I don't think you can get the arm to travel far enough to get all the air out of it. And I'd rather just do it on the bench, but I actually just don't see them things unless they're in here. So let's see. $3, I ain't gonna argue with that because it's just not worth the shipping. So it's better than for getting one of the wheel cylinders, you know. So so $185. Just better put that inside the glove box or something. So these are your wheel cylinders on the thing, and these are the slotted kind. Some of them are flat and some of them are slotted. The very early ones are the slotted kind. And see, the whole cylinder is designed to slide on the hardware, and I think the hardware is fine. So this is supposed to be an upgrade, so I'm hoping that it is. And let's go put them on. What do you say? Let's do a little bit of a review here. Look at that. I got that all cleaned up and pointed up and done, and a seal and everything, so that turned out just fine. There's that couch I was telling you about. When I opened that mattress, it was a queen. I cut it in half and put it there last night. Slept on it the first time, and I You always cut foam with one of them things, an electric carving one of them. And boy, I gotta tell you, it was a full 20 degrees cooler. So I was happy about that. I don't sleep there all the time, but sleep there some. So anyway, that's just a little past video updates there. What I got there? Coffee? Don't think I want that. I think I'm gonna move on to something else. Tea. Let's see if I can work up a little copyright claim issue here. This is the Girling brake assembly for the TR4 and I think the TR4A and a bunch of other cars around the world. But as you can see, the adjuster is here, and back behind the adjuster there's a 1/4 inch square drive, and what it does is it drives a cone up into this housing and forces out these two little pins. They have little angle cuts on them, and that key goes into the brake right here, and that's the way you adjust the brakes. Now the cylinder, like I showed you, it slides. See, it's got this rectangular hole in the backing plate, and you've got to get all these 3 clips, and it's a pain too. Well, it's not too bad, but it's not too great either. But there are 3 clips, and they interlock this way and lock in, and that's the rubber boot that they didn't send me, that they forgot to put in the box. But that's okay. I mean, it's not a real big deal. But that rubber surround piece right here, number 46, is real prone to decay. So you can get this whole kit, and I just didn't see it because these pieces of C clips here, and this would be the exact definition of that. They don't really wear out. So the trick here is when you assemble these, and these slide onto the back of the cylinder, and what you got here is you got to have a least little bit of lubrication, some good copper grease or something like that, and just a little tiny bit, because it's going to slide around in here. And so when the wheel cylinder fails, of course the brake fluid goes in here and just slings around like it does in any other brake system. This is the TR3 system, really a pain. But the other thing to note here is the spring, the way the springs are set up. There's only 2 springs in this assembly, which ain't like a Ford Pinto. Jesus Christ. And Ford and Chevy stuff where they got 900 different springs. These have 2. And the upper one is the one that's coiled all the way across, and the bottom one is coiled here, and then there's a separation for the wheel cylinder spacing, and then you can see they hook in from behind. You want to hook them from behind because it pulls the brake shoe toward the drum. If you don't hook them from behind, and you don't have these things in here real good with lubrication on these a little bit too, just a little bit. If you hook them from the outside of the shoe, it causes the shoe to want to rock forward and hit the drum. Now this screw is here nor there. If it's there, put it in. If it's not, it ain't a big deal because you're going to be bolting and flipping the wheel on, you know. So, but it is important to hook these springs behind the shoe, and what you do is you hook them and then you just fold them onto the backing plate. So we'll go into that, but I wanted to give you a good visual on the way this system works. It's incredible. It's like an SU carburetor on this car. They are incredibly simple, and it takes you years to figure them out. But you know, to do it right, not years, but it takes a long time, and to know what to look for, how to check them, you know, how to check vacuum. This stuff is so easy, but it still takes a lot of experience to know how to do it just exactly right. Okay, I aired up the tires. I got my jack under it. I'm soaking up old brake fluid, or new brake fluid that's no good, and I have smelled the gas. It smells fine. Just put that there. Okay, let me get this thing off, and we'll pull the drum off. Make sure your brakes or handbrakes are off, okay? There's my jack under there. I got both sides chalked. Well, maybe there's chalk on them too, I don't know. Okay, so Looks like it's gonna rain. You can see the back end of the Healy there. She went out. What is that thing? Big wheels turning. And let's see, I got the Bonneville out, took her out for a ride, aired up all the tires everywhere, and we're ready to go in here. I'm gonna do this side and tape it, and then I'll do the other side and not tape it, and then we'll go for a little ride. We'll see how it goes. Uh-oh, I hear it storming out there. I gotta get on the Harley. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off and clean it. That's your hub adapter for, just rinse it off real good and put it in the ultrasonic and clean it up some. Change the grease, as it were. This has them in there. It looks like something I do. Let's get them screws out of there. God, I hope the Harley starts. Let's see if I can get that thing going. Okay, let's take a look here. I got everything loose. Ooh, brake fluid just dripping down in there, huh? There's the blown cylinder. It's this kind of those. And I'll show you real quick how to do this. See, I got my springs on the inside like I talked about. And you know what? Da-da-da, you need them. You're messing with spring thingies. Oh, I don't know. What would be a better way to light it? What would you do? I think I'll do that. So all you do is you push in on these and you twist that around. I think I've got a lot of ultrasonic things I'm going to do. Don't worry about getting that clip. You'll have it in a second. I think I might put the brake shoes in there. The brake drums, I mean. Yeah, these shoes are completely contaminated. So all you do is just fold these down. Gloves. Okay, these are a lot worse off than I thought. So on the thing, but have your glasses on, and you just pull down on these. See, it works great. Emergency brake thing. There you go. There goes your clip, and you just pull these things around this way, and they will come out. You don't want to rock around the car too much there. Here you go. And then, like I was telling you on the diagram, these will fall out. And there's that tapered pin for one of the adjusters. There's two of these. So let's just get those out of there. And just get that spring tension off of everything. And there you go. There goes the upper spring, because that's the solid one. And then, woo, look at all that wet brake fluid. Nasty. You will find that you want to make a note here, because there's really not a leading and trailing in this particular. You know, I guess that's something to look at on the new ones. Let's get this completely done here. And when you get this stuff off, and there's your other spring, there's your one that is on the wheel cylinder side. And a lot of times you'll find that these are leading and trailing. So when you put them on, you want to make sure that they're backwards like this. Okay, and it's determined by the way it goes into the emergency cable there. So those are junk. We'll put them over there. So now you will find. Let me go get this stuff. I think that's. Yeah, that one was just on there finger tight. Well, that new fuel pump looks good, but it does smell kind of cruddy, but I think the gas tank was okay. Let me go see what this is. And I'll show you this thing. Oh, gotta go on the other way. And this is a good time to look around your Armstrong shock absorber here. Oh, I saw Mustie One dealing with an old British car, an old Morris Minor, or Morris something or other, I can't remember. Oh, it was so painful watching him do it, but God, he was good at it. And he didn't know anything about British stuff, but he was really doing it, man. And I was doing, no. See, now that's a quarter. And you'll take this out. Now, I would do one brake side and then the other. Thank you, Jimmy Groner, for teaching me that when I was a novice. And you will see, well, okay, well, if I was in frame, I don't think I was in frame. But this is a quarter. I don't know, how's the camera looking? Oh, that's okay. Maybe it's in there. If not, we'll just pretend it was. Now you can unscrew this, and I'll explain this thing to you. Okay, there's the other angled adjuster pin, I think they call it. And this is the adjuster cone. We're going to clean all this stuff up. Now see, what this does is, as it goes up into here, it comes out and it has flats. And the flats lock onto these little pins when they're in there like this. And that's why they go clunk, clunk. It's because of those little pins in there. So let's get this out of here. There's the boot. That boot feels a little bit ragged. So I don't think I can show you how to do this, but let's move my glasses and everything. So save your little cap. Always save your little caps. I've got one here. And put those back on if you don't get new ones, because it does matter. You want to keep that clean. That's not magnetic anyway. Let's just put it all in the magnetic Kubota tray. Now you'll notice that the arm is captured by the other side of the wheel cylinder here. That's going to be in for a good spray down. I might even think about some other stuff. Now, another thing to notice too, you'll need to lubricate here and there when you do all this stuff back together again. I don't have hot water down at the barn anymore because the thing failed. Now you got to get these clips out of here. You get a screwdriver and push up on that pin and prise it out, and you'll see how they interlock. Just make a note of that. Don't let that rest against your overalls. Okay, don't get your overalls dirty. Try to watch that. Oop, don't want it going in there. Oh, come on, hard. Let's just put that in there too. Oh, watch this. See what I mean by this? See how that moves around? That is by design. That means I did it right. You won't get this arm out of here until you get those clips out. Okay, so if you're afraid of getting brake fluid on your arm, and I would be because it's not good stuff, just put that over your arm while I try and get this clip out. And it takes a little doing, maybe spread it out a little bit. But there's clip number one. And see, I had to spread it out a little bit. And that's clip number one. It goes in a decent way. So put it in there. Don't mess with that too much. You kind of want it to have a memory. Just pull that out. Now this will have a clip on it, and you can easily remove the clip. Okay, there's a clip holding on the boot. And then that comes off. And then we can look down in there just to kind of see. You curious? Let's see how it moves. Well, that ain't too bad. But you can see the fluid's pretty clean. It's pretty gunky down in there. And that's what, just to look at it, just for the hell of it, just to have a little fun. Boy, it ain't no day to be wearing these things. Okay, so let's clear off a little bit here. I guess I'll wear these for another couple of seconds. Move all your stuff out of the way, including your lamp. Clean all that off. Woo, look at the muck coming down. I think great opportunity to use my other brake cleaning thing. I think I will. I have the fancy kind. I don't know how much is in it, but let's go see. Save the spray stuff for harder things to get to. Okay, see, I got this kind. So this is the exact place for this. Ooh! Don't get it on your paintwork. Coming out in all kind of a random order there. Something must be wrong. Because there's always something wrong, right? I see it. Seal's gone bad right here. All right, well, let's just use this as we can. So now I got to rebuild this tool. That's okay. I think I'm going to get a toothbrush and work that around a little bit. That thing's leaking, so. Da-da-da! Okay, get her wet again. Coming out of everything, isn't it? Can't take a chance on brakes. You got to keep them clean. Okay, that was fun, wasn't it? Okay, let's go back to the spray can. Go ahead and get a little on your toothbrush and go behind your adjuster and go right there too. And get the dirt off right there, because that'll matter when that thing's sliding back and forth. So this is your pivotal point here. So both sides. Okay. Okay, well, I didn't use near as much batter as I thought it did. Okay. Let's put this here. And I don't mind getting my hands dirty one more time. It's getting warm. It's getting there. Let's put this in there. Okay. And that just fits, just nice. Now put this in there, and then get it full of water, get the air out of it, and then turn it upside down. And then you got your basket full of particulars here. Okay. And I'm not gonna make that heinous noise, because it is heinous on the microphone. Okay, well that's gonna be it for today. Let's go to tomorrow, okay? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Faked you out, didn't I? Just another tip to live by. Turn your cloth, get a fresh cloth, because you don't want to drop anything down in all that muck. Okay, so get yourself a nice clean spot. After you got everything, look where the wear has been on that emergency brake or parking brake or whatever you want to call it. That looks pretty good. So let's get I got to get some Loctite and some fancy grease, high melting point grease. What would you use? I used to have some copper. Let's just use this. That'll be fine. I don't know. I got this. Oh, here we go. There you go. That's exactly what you want. That's precisely what you're looking for. And this will go on the. I'll show you where it all goes later. But get that and get some Loctite for the brake adjuster screws, and that's about the only place you're going to need it. Bing! Where'd all that mud come from? I don't know. Oh, it's an anthill. Look at that. There's an anthill there, and the rain washed their little muddy bits down on my piece of stuff. I didn't know there was an anthill there. Ooh! I better get in. Just as a little note, if you got yourself a magnetic train, put a cloth in there if you want to, and then, things like that. It's okay. So, I got to go do something else. Let's go do something else. I didn't know they went from TR3As to TR6s. Wow. Okay, well, I just wanted to show you. These aren't like some American brakes where there's some shoes are longer and in a different place and all that because there's leading and trailing. They're sort of automatically done. So just kind of wanted to show that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that other wheel, and I'm going to just go ahead and do that other drum. And I'm going to go ahead and I've decided to go ahead and powder coat them, and because I'm going to knock all this paint off anyway. So let's do that. So don't forget, if you want one of these that's worth having, build it yourself. That's what I did. Okay, so I got a little bit of the stuff there. Let's make sure that's back. A little bit of the stuff there, and right here where the handbrake thing touches. And I want this stuff here. Now, I changed my mind a little bit. I decided to go with the remainder of whatever this high melting point stuff is. Boy, that's been around a while. I got some older than that. Let's see. Now, when it comes to doing the slide mechanism, I am going to use this. And I did get some fluid film out, just in case I needed it. I got to fix that thing. Well, let's go back here and stick our hands in the ultrasonic, see what happened overnight. Let's see. So this sat in about 75 centigrade, 170 thing overnight. Let's just see what happens. Ooh, I hear parts. Now, let's see what's in there. Well, let's see what happens. Oh, there's a dead bug there. Get off that. Get out of my stuff. Let's see if this comes off easy. Yeah, I'd say pretty easy. I don't even think I would mess around with, this is why you keep old stuff like this and old razor blades. Well, let me scrape all this off. There's some parts in there. Alright, and then, oh, the other one's in there. Now I got a hole in this glove, see it right there? So it's still a good glove, but it ain't as good as it was. Ooh, look at all the dirt. Alright, what else fell down in here? There's that big hub over here. I forgot about that. Now we're going to get the air going. And I think I stuck something over here too. Oh yeah, well, I think we can pull that over there. Let's I like those gloves too. They got their place. Oh, there you go. Now's the time when you go get some WD-40. See, that thing does marvelous work. Whew, unbelievable. Okay, let's go get some WD-40 and treat this stuff and blow it out before it gets too messy. Well, I don't want to use this glove. Let me get another glove. Make sure. I think I can probably do roll call here. All right, let's see if we got all the parts here. So you got to get new split pins. This is a split pin. This is not a cotter pin. I don't want to go over it. Oh, well, lost that one. Maybe I got an extra one. I'll tell you a trick to this is make sure you latch it in case you drop the whole thing. Go ahead and get two because you'll need one for the other side. Okay, roll call done. Everything's there. I don't think there's anything in the bottom. And just get some air and blow that grease out. Just about ready to powder coat the drums. They'll end up here and I'll get some flat on them, but this is where we're going now. I'm talking about this adjuster. So it says Lucas right there on it. There are your two little deals. And the little pin is right here. I'm going to lubricate this and all this stuff in here so this will move smoothly with that. Okay, I about did it. All right, here we go. Like 400 degrees too. And turn them over and do the inside because they'll flash rust on you. Alright, we're on reassembly. There that is. I put a little rubber band around there to keep that other pin from falling out. You can see the grease is in there. I got that pin back in there, that pivot arm. So now it's time to get this out because we're going to put that on. Let's find a clean spot. Always keep a clean spot handy. Now I'll tell you a secret here. Put this on there and put your brake line on here before you get it too solid, so you can get it started good. Put a little bit of lubrication right there. You'll put a little bit of lubrication there and there. You can just put it on the shoe when you put it on, probably be okay, unless you knock it all off. But that's pretty nice right there. I'm happy with that. You can go ahead and crack that loose too if you want to, whatever size that is. What do you think it is, 10 millimeter or something like that? I don't know. They're always different. They're never the same size. So you want to put this one on first, and then this one, and then that one, okay? Because you want that poking up in the air to catch those little slots right there. Okay, so this is back in. You want to make sure that this has really nice travel, and you want to make sure those clips are in there just nice, and that's pretty good considering. And we're doing real good here. Let's go back there and see how the drums are cooking. Okay, that's time enough. Stop. Timer off. Let's take a look in there. I think the lights will come on. Ooh, yeah, look at them babies. Looking good. And we'll just let them sit there overnight, because I ain't got time. So, be better if they do that anyway. Got to let the oven run and cool off, and then you can unplug it if you want to. But you got to let the electrical components not get burned up in the head and the top of the thing. So, let's see. Let's put what have I got left? I got to get the shoes on. Now that means I go get clean gloves, okay? Try not to touch those, okay? Those shoes right there. So your points of lubrication are, and just a dang little tiny bit of it right there, okay? And then don't forget the underside. There's a little bit of an underside there. And that's just a pad, so just get a little bit right there. And then a little bit right here. Okay. Alrighty. And then take this rubber band off. I think that thing will stay with the grease in it. And then get a little bit more and put right there. And a little bit more and put right there. Yeah, she's wanting to fall out. Did you see that? She's wanting to fall on me. Yeah, okay then. Alright, just as long as you got that lower one in there. Okay. Alright, and that's all you need there. Gloves. Gloves. Not a sponsor, but get these. And these are good. These are good. These are the good kind. Now, what we're going to do is, I guess I'll get the tripod and show you. Have yourself a nice clean spot here. And it's going to go on like this. So, this is the one that goes, I don't know if I'm in frame, goes like this, okay, and then you get your solid spring, and it goes, oh, come on, baby. Okay, so these work in a little bit different fashion. See how those work? Now, you hang that there, and then you go into that hole like that. See what you got there? And this is going to go into this. So let's go. Let's see how long this takes me. I'm going to leave that rubber band somewhere. I don't know, I'm just going to have to hope, I guess. Okay, got that one in there, kinda. This is not really as terrible as it seems, but you gotta get the springs behind there. Okay. Okay. This is why you want gloves, because you gotta touch these things an awful lot. I think I just popped the spring out. Okay, I did. That happens. Okay. Okay. So slip that spring in behind there. Keep an eye on that adjuster. Make sure it don't pop out on you. Okay, let's start here. And then you can just power it over. Click bang, gonna be loud noises, right? There you go. And then you get this one down here. Centralize it a little bit. And then you get this up onto that right there. Pull the arm up. There you go. And that's the way that does, okay? Let's take an inspection tour here. Spring here and here. We're set there and there. Those are all the way in. And you can move the adjuster with your fingers. Got a little blue Loctite on those right there. There is a little bit of lubrication here and there. You can see just a touch. I don't think what's a magnet on the magnet. And you can see how the emergency brakes work. Now I'll tell you another little secret. So everything's in here. Those are relatively easy to put in. They're better than the round kind. When you put on your handbrake thing right here with a little bit of lubricant in the pin and pull your new split pin around, then you may find that it engages the parking brake a little bit. I would probably just go on up and just get the tension off this. That's too tight for right now. So, and you can see where it's up off the piston right there. So in order to get a good adjustment off this adjuster that you should be getting it off of, this can foul you up right here. So just take the car back up and readjust and take the tension off the emergency brake thing. Good time to readjust and lubricate under there too, isn't it? Okay, let's take a look at where we're going here. So the leak was right there, huh? Well, just give that a little bit of a go juice right there and see. I think this is our main culprit here. I put 2 on there for some reason. Still leaked out of there, didn't it? Okay, that's awful gummy. Okay, and then we'll give everything a little tighten up, including this one. Oh, that one was pretty loose. Okay. All right, so we're gonna put this here. So this is what we're talking about here. Incidentally, this spring will help you. I might just take this off, and I know that looks kind of cheesy, but it does work. You'll see in the diagram in the books it says spring. Doesn't tell you where it goes. It's sort of hanging out in space. So here's your adjustment. Let's see how much is in that thing. Oh, I think enough. All right, well, let's just take this off, and we'll worry about that later. Just get all the tension off. I'm just going to pull this pin, this split pin, and then just pull this pin and just let it relax. Don't worry about adjusting it now. I guess I can adjust it later. Okay, see how that's settled back down in there now? See, that's a whole lot better. Okay. All right. That'll make it adjustment a lot nicer. These turned out very nicely. I'm happy with that. So let's get this tape off of here. And that actually, badge, hadn't heard that in a long time. I got my sandpaper here to knock off the glaze and make it look right. And we might as well go all the way because there's every opportunity for some of the powder coating to have gotten around the rim here. So we'll see. Okay, that looks pretty good. I fixed this thing. Took a couple of carburetor washers and works great. Okay. I'm just going to woo! Well, that's the strong stuff. That comes out of the 5-gallon bucket. So you think you got something clean? You don't. Feels a lot better. Got a little crosshatch in there, much as that matters on drums, huh? Okay, that looks good enough. I got the plug in there. Now, that hole in your drum was for the earlier type of adjustments, like on MGAs and earlier British cars, where it had that little ratcheting little half moon thing. That's just a throwback. So line up your screws here to there. Okay, and then you just put this back on. It ought to just slip right on there. Yeah, it does. So let me get those screws in, and boy, that's really nice there. Other than something there it goes. You got to get it up on that hub thing. Okay, you got it. Put these in there, and then that'll signal the end to this. Okay, so you can see there's no action there. So where you go is right here, and that's a quarter, and you won't even feel any resistance for a while. You'll feel it ticking from what I showed you before. Now I'm not using a big wrench here because you don't need one. You're not going to be doing clicks and torques and everything else. Okay, let's just just do it till you get a little resistance, and you can adjust it later. You will have to adjust it later. You'll probably put 500, 1,000 miles on it, and the shoes will be bedded in, and then you'll have to adjust again anyway. So don't feel real bad if you got a little bit of a soft pedal on the thing, because you'll fix it later. It'll come around. Okay, so the brakes are adjusted, and I'm going to just leave them like that for now till they get settled in, and I'll bring it back in here and adjust and further adjust them. So this goes right there. This is an aftermarket conversion kit to these. So these are special nuts, so don't lose them. And I'm going to calculate torque spec off the size and thread of the things. Okay, so your results may vary. I'm finishing up the right side now, getting ready to assemble it, but I just had to do this. I got my Astro tool out here, my ratcheting line wrench. Check that out. Whoa! I just had to use it. I don't usually have too many circumstances where I can use these, and I just thought that was fun. So what I generally do here is I'll get it relatively close, and then when you save yourself a little time there, so you have to have this thing in the exact right place to get it off the line, and you have to spin it around, and it's not too hard to do because it has those little thumb wheels on the outside. And then I went too far. Well, you can't see what I'm doing anyway, can you? This is just a fancy thing to I get it right where I want it, and then maybe if I just do it with the one thumb, there you go, and then it slips off like that. So I don't hardly ever get to use that, so I just thought it was fun. Multi-gear. Just make sure on brake fittings that you are very careful about threading them properly. Boy, that's a long afternoon there getting that sorted out. I'm possibly making this a little bit too comprehensive, but I ran into a problem with the emergency brake because of the shoes being new. I believe they're probably a little too fat, and I probably need to adjust them in or something, but I had trouble adjusting the handbrake cable. I ended up pulling this pivot bolt until I've been working, can't you? And that's clean thumbnail too. That's a $31 bolt right there, a $32 bolt. And so I ended up, I'll show you when I get down there, but I kind of wanted to show you this. See that number 36 spring? that's the one I was telling you about that hangs out in space. They don't really tell you what it does, and that's the one that I showed that I just figured to put it there. And you'll also notice that number 16 right here, where the ratchet and the pawl are pivot, and that's 14 and 15. There's a bolt there. I actually prefer a pin like is used right here, just like a clevis pin, and I prefer that, but it's not completely necessary. You can sort of, if you use 17 with an NIN, then you will find that that might be better for you, but it's okay with me, just as long as it's good and tight. And and you'll see 32 and 33 and 34, that bolt there, it won't go in that way. You got to go in the other way. Generally, I don't think you can put it in that way, unless you put it in first and then do. I don't know. The frame's in the way, but all this stuff is pretty old and everything. So, and you'll see there are no adjustments in the back. There's just nothing there for you. So anyway, yeah, I ran into all kind of trouble here, and I had to loosen everything up to get this cable, and I had to make this adjustment right here where the fork end, and that's not available. That fork is not available, so you want to be real mighty special careful with that thing. If you're going to wrench on it, don't put the wrench up on the forks. Put it down at the base. And it's pretty robust. But anyway, and I took this bolt out and lubricated it, put some blue Loctite on it. It's always better to do all that. So once again, that's just something I ran into. I'll show you what it's like in a minute. That plate, if you can get that plate, it's actually, I think, just goes through. It's not on TR4. It's at 57 and 56. Yeah, TR2 to 3B, yeah. They didn't put them on TR4s. But if you got them, if you want to spend the money, you could chrome plate those. They look pretty nice, but it is kind of under the mat. But anyway, just thinking out loud. That's the 4A. Makes it a little easier for right hand, left hand drive with the handbrake in the middle. A lot more adjustment opportunities there. You can tell here. It's pretty tight. You don't have a lot of adjustment you can deal with. This could possibly be my longest production of all time. So here we go. Take this bolt out here carefully. There's not a nut behind it. It has a bushing and it threads in. It's got an unbelievably high thread count. And put some goo on it, some blue on the stuff, and the lubricant, whatever you're going to use. See, I got instead of a bolt there, I kind of like the pin, because see how close that is there? I'm not, my videos are always so dark. And then that's that spring I was telling you about. I think that's the way it works. Don't make any sense to me, but I don't know where else it can work. So anyway, there's your ratchet and pawl right there. You can see it. And I got a double nut going through that, making sure that it's okay. So that's pretty doggone tight. So we're just going to have to deal with it. But that's what we're dealing with here. And don't go anywhere without it. Is that thing leaking? I can't believe it. It's not that bad, though. I'll take a drop or two. Okay, so my problem today is this thing. I don't know what I'm going to do about that rattle. I'm going to do something, though. I don't know if I'll tell you what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. So let's take a look at this side. So that could be something, well, it'd be too hard to get in there. This stuff falls, the insulation falls off the roof of the barn here. I think I'll get some brake clean and clean that off so I can make sure. Oh, well, it is drying up, but I'll get some brake clean and clean it anyway. Okay, I got to get that BMW up here. I've been thinking about this a lot. This could be rattling here, could be rattling there, and I just don't know quite what to do about it. It's not. I think I know what I'm going to do about it. I might show you if I'll try that. I don't have to put that many miles on this car. I might try a little trickiness here. Okay, so I got some of this stuff. That's good stuff. Not a sponsor. And I kind of just made a pad there, and I'm whacking it. So I was able to bend it over a little bit and just kind of make a little pad. I don't know, temporary. You can see it moved it out from here a little bit too. So we'll see if that helps. That's just sort of a temporary fix. All right, so let's do some stuff. I need to take these up and torque on those. Oh, well, that's why that's not sticking good. It's got a thing stuck on it. What was I saying? I got to jack it up and retorque the hubs where. Oh, that didn't stay on there too good, did it? So it lips in under there. That is the biggest joke in the world. It's better than nothing. But it is sort of a joke, isn't it, gang? Alright, well, I'm sure this one's not on either. Well, actually it is. I'll be danged. Okay. Alright, let's do something else. Okay. Torqued and everything. I've got to have both hands to do this. But that really works good, doesn't it? All right, wheels are done. I adjusted the brakes again with the wheels on them like you should do. The left one was tighter than the right one. That's our next target right there. This right here. And so we'll see what we can do here, okay? Now the next thing I want to do, I got everything ready down here. Let's see what happens with the handbrake here. Well, that's pretty good. I'll take that. Take that, you rat. Okay. Let's go inside. Everybody loves me, don't they? Good night away. Adventure, very good song. I just sent that to Mick. There's a reason for that. The wreck of the old 97. Okay, let's do step one here, and that's going to be remove the existing. See, step one. Step one. See. Yep. It's always handy to have these handy carts around. See, handy. Oh, there's a couple of those yellow gloves still living around here. That's too bad. I'll use those, try to use them up. I don't like those very much. They're okay, and they are somewhat durable, but they're too big and they're kind of got this stuff on them. Okay, so let me get further set up. But right now, this is coming. I got plenty of light reflecting off there. That's kind of cool. Okay, so I think I got everything right down there. Okay, so you end up with I forget, 4-inch extension. I can't remember, but the one everybody's got. Let's see, I think it's printed right there on it. A 3-inch extension, sorry. And just a plain old, I actually welded that socket to a car one time. Okay, and then you gotta fish it down in here. I think you do better this way. And you got the speedometer cable back there you gotta deal with. And then you get her to slip. Let's see if I can get more. See it way down in there. Okay. And you can trap yourself here. So okay, that's pretty good. Oh, I had it. Okay, well, you know what I mean. I need to get my other hand in there to steady it. Okay, but that's the way you got to do it. It's got to be pretty perfect. And what you really are going for here is getting that thing loose and then trying to use your fingers, because you'll rack your ratchet against the bulkhead, and then you can't get your ratchet out without putting it back. You know what I mean? You get captured. You don't want to be captured. Okay, so use of a couple of different tools and a lot of patience, and you better have your magnet ready. Oh, I'm gonna make it maybe. Yay! There you go. And put it on your magnet right there. So I switched to quarter drive because it's a little bit thinner and easier to get in there. So let's get this going out of here. You got to get this rubber boot off. Let me get the rubber boot. But you can see I'm all but there. There you go. There she is. Don't spill this on your stuff. Now go and find what size plug this is. And so when you do your, I know Derek at Vice Grip Garage doesn't bench bleed them. I'm going to bench bleed mine. That's just the way I do it. It's the way we roll here. This is probably my longest taping of anything I've ever done. Okay, so I've got a plug ready to go, and there, I don't know if that's focusing or not, but plug. This is interesting. This is a Girling, and it tells you the bore. Girling 70, and this just says Lucas on it. I'm sure it came out of the same place. So just put that in there, and I'm gonna fill it about halfway up. Put the cap right back on it. Don't let any moisture get in there. You can, oh, it's coming through already. Okay, so I'm gonna try not to get this on the cam bot here. Oh, okay. So, oh yeah, put yourself a cloth down here at the base of your thing, and yeah, it's just coming through. Okay, and then, okay, I can hear it burping. Here. Yep. So you're not going to get this happening if you just put it in the car and pump it. You're not going to get the full throw. And I guess that's okay. Another little tip to know is make sure that these holes are clear, especially on older cars, because your brakes won't work right if that hole's not clear. It won't breathe right. Ooh, sun's bright, isn't it? Okay. Okay, I'm catching all that fluid. We're going to go one more time. Hear that air? Okay, now put your thumb back tight against that. Just let it settle for a minute. Let the bubbles come to the top. This is no time to get hurried, okay? Now this is sort of a dangerous weapon now because it's dripping brake fluid everywhere. Okay, one more time. Ooh, squirted it on myself there. Thumb down tight. Okay, now get your plug ready to go and put it in there, okay? Ooh, what a mess. See all the brake fluid I caught there? It's still kind of leaking. Why is it still leaking? Okay, well let's put the cap on it. Now the other trick you can do to help yourself along the path is do something like I just told you to do. And you can stop the leaking by putting a little tape right there. Sometimes you can slow it down anyway. See, now it can't pull air and leak out. And then there is a freshly bled master cylinder right there. So let's just get some blue cloth and put in the bottom of your where this thing goes in the car. So if you rock it like that, you're gonna be okay. Okay. Whew. I don't know what song that is, but we'll see what it is in a minute here. So that's the tricks right there. So I'm not gonna use this. I guess I'll use that to bleed and then use this. Okay. I got that big fresh bottle of this stuff. I'll tell you a trick. If you order this off Amazon, you'll be lucky to get it without it being all busted to pieces. They actually just put them in a padded envelope and mail them. It don't work out too good. I got lucky on these two. They didn't leak. Okay, so she's ready to go. I don't think I would lubricate the arm or anything. And I don't think that she's going to get so low because she tilts up a little bit anyway. So let's, I've already got my little bed down in there. And then you're just going to slip that through. I got to have both hands. You get it. I think you get it. Oop, see it leaking everywhere? So the first thing you do is put this on, okay? Because this is the time you can still move this around. Don't put these in until you got that fairly well started. You don't have to have it all the way tight yet. It'd be hard to tighten without it bolted up. But get this in about 3/4 of the way. And so we're going to go in. This is a matter of timing, so I've got to keep moving here. So I just wanted to give you those little bits of advice. Okay, light, what do you know? And so once you get that bolted in, you can pull out that blue cloth, and you can see I've already caught some fluid there. And don't take the cap off to check it, because you're already letting fluid out as it is. I think it's going to be okay. I don't think we're going to get any air in the cylinder, and if we do now, I feel like it would purge out, because it would come to the top and purge out. And I feel like that could be the case if you bolted it on and did it. But see, you got this angle up, you're going to get some air in that cylinder. Just bitch bleed it. Just bite the bullet and do that. Okay, so I've got this in fairly tight, not real tight, and I got that in kind of loosely. And whatever you're going to do down here to make your life good, whatever you can think of. I know you see that brake light switch. That's just a backup. It also has that hydraulic switch one down over there at the multi-way fitting. So I've sprayed this off with brake clean, and I can see it's still sort of weeping a little bit. So let's see what's in here. Oh, plenty. Okay. So let's tighten that a little bit more, stop that little bit of weeping, and then we'll get that lower bolt in, that one right there. Okay, so there's this lady's foot, crow's foot thing, whatever you want to call it, and you give that a little twist, and that's the way to do that. If you don't have a set of these, get them. Don't want to hear about you not getting those. Okay, so I got these magnets stuck down in this socket, and let's see if we can do it this way. And this is a real help when it comes time to putting that lower one in there. So there you go. So now you kind of got yourself a tool to do this with, and that's really solid. So you really want to try to do it this way to get that bottom one in. That's really a painful event. Once that thing starts to thread, it's like the skies open up and everything's great. Trust me, because this can be very, very trying. So get this in loosely, and just so when you put this one in, it'll line up the bottom one, and then you're cooking with hot things. Yeah, the lighting's a little weird, isn't it? So I've got her to the very top, the very edge, and just put that on loosely. I had a little trouble with this fitting. It's really super tight, but it doesn't seem to be leaking. I think I'm going to shoot some brake clean C in there, but it's really super tight. So I got all of these in. I've got this sort of stacked and packed, and this has a spring on it if you'd rather use the spring, but that's really super tight there. I'm digging it, and it's going back fine. I adjusted this a little bit. This is a little different because this arm being different. And so anyway, I don't know why that turned down on me, but it did. Anyway, just about ready to bleed her out. So it's time to bleed it through. So get your tools and everything together, and get set, and get you some cloths down there, and wear gloves if you want to. So this happens to be 10 millimeter back here, million meters, and the front happened to be 3/8. So it doesn't really matter. Yours is going to be different. So this is the way I do it. I like that. I'll eat plain or vanilla. And there's a spider in there. Can you believe it? Well, okay. Well, not anymore. So I get some duct tape and I tape this down. And you see I make a reduction thing here, and you can see I got yellow tape around the bleeder. So, I mean, you could probably just leave this hanging like that. But you kind of want a little loop up if you can do her. And it just kind of all depends on you and your methodologies. I don't think we're going to get much dirt out of this system. I might be wrong. But you can see can you see right there where I'm going? No. Well, I am going. I'm getting it right there. Okay. So we're going to just open that up a little bit. Okay, don't get too hog wild on opening this thing up, okay? I don't know, maybe you can see it better that way. Ooh, drive mode, whatever that means. Okay, let's go up there and get the ladder set up and pump it. And just like the books say, start at the furthest one. In this particular car, it is the left rear, and then right rear, and then right front, and then left front. Okay, I flushed the system with the yellow can that fell down there with nothing in it. So now it's time to move to this, and I'm going to try to get all of that out of there I can. Alright, there's no air in the lines, and not dirty. I didn't think it would be, but that's the old junky fluid. So the bleeder is closed. That seems like a very safe place for that. And I've got nothing but the good fluid in the system now. The good new fresh fluid. I've got, make sure that's tight, okay. And now, we're gonna let that drain down in there so we won't make a mess with it. Okay. And then you just simply move over to here and repeat. Rinse and repeat. So, I think that one leaked a little bit. I don't know why. Let me make sure everything's tight there. Okay. All right, all the bleeding is done. And get the cap back up there. Make sure all your caps are on because you don't want a mud dauber getting in there. And I think I've double checked all the lines and everything. We'll find out soon enough if I need to go back up again. So let's drop her down and top her up and see what the pedal feels like. You want to? Well, I know I want to. I know this has been more than 2 weeks. I've been working on this a couple hours every day. So I'll be glad to get this thing driving around unless it storms. It's like it might storm. Wouldn't that be something? It's gonna storm the rest of the day, I bet you. All right. I bet your brake fluid reservoir doesn't look like that. I had one tiny little drop plop out and hit my paint. I got it in less than a second, and it still made it a little bit discolored. Just less than a second. Oh, the other thing you gotta watch out for is not letting this dirty brake fluid that gets caught in here become reality in your brake master. Okay. All right. Okay. That's plenty enough there. I said I wasn't going to put anything on the battery. Oh well. I did. Now, just like your sodas, be sure that's on there real tight. Okay. I'm going to go for the gusto here. So I got it full up, so if it leaks, I'll know. Well, let's find out. You ready? Oh, I'm ready. Watch it not start now, too. Oh. All right, let's see what the brake's like. Wow. That's really good. You know, you want a little bit of travel in it. That's just beautiful brick hard. Let's see what happens here. Okay, we'll hold it down. Okay, don't feel it letting go. Okay, and the handbrake feels good. The handbrake is on. Okay, handbrake feels good. All right, that's let's go for a test drive. It's test drive time. Boy, that feels great. Okay, we are in neutral. We are listening to the fuel pump running and stopping. Okay, brakes on. I don't think we need any choke today. I don't know. Always need a little choke. Come on. There she is. There she is, coming to life. Let's let her warm up a little bit. Let's get the choke right off. Mixture control. check my charging cable. We got spider laying up. All right. Okay. All right. Let's just go around the loop here. Okay. No big trails of fluids there. It's hard to drive this thing one-handed. All right. Well, let's see what it's like before we get too far here. That's about all you can ask for there. Let's try the handbrake now. Okay. Handbrake applied. Here, grabbing the rear tires. All right, let's get out on the road. Let's put an amen on this thing. Okay, that's about 15 minutes. I can tell that all of the brake system needs to bleed in. Let's see if the overdrive works. Yeah, baby. All right, let's go home. Give me a thumbs up. A dirty, greasy thumbs up. Like and subscribe. I know this was a long one, but it was comprehensive. Been around this loop a couple of 3 times. I can feel the brake pedal sort of giving way a little bit from the pads and the shoes bedding in. So that's going to be common. I'm going to put a lot more miles on it unless something gets real bad. But I can tell probably a 1/2 inch difference. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. Talk to you later. Bye bye. A little bit of bonus footage. I wanted to see how she free rolls. Anybody back there? And is a little glimmer or something. I kind of wanted to see how she free rolls. She does fine. So the brakes aren't binding it anymore either. So cool. All right, let's try this. Give this a stop. Oh, there comes somebody. All right. So let's not get too corny here. All right. Bye bye. Thanks again.